What is up, everybody? Okay, so this week we've got kind of a different video. If any of y'all have seen Junkyard Digs on YouTube, what he does is old revivals of ATCs, of old trucks, square bodies, old Fords, anything that he can get his hands on that doesn't run, he does a revival with. So I kind of started looking around thinking, what could I do my own revival of? And, well, I found it in our own she shed out in the back barn. This behind me is our old lawnmower that hasn't worked in years. I know it hasn't run in over 2 years or 2.5 years. Austin says that the carb needs to be rebuilt, that it only runs on 1 cylinder, all that stuff. So there's a couple of things that we're gonna have to do today. First, we're gonna have to get it on proper tires. So we're gonna take the tires off, clean them, do all that stuff, hopefully get it running, and hopefully if we can get it running and running properly on 2 cylinders, we can give it a bath, because this old thing is disgusting. So let's get right into it. I'm gonna go grab the jack and jack this up so I can get the first tire off. That complicates things a little bit. There's a cotter pin holding that on, so I'm gonna have to take that out. It's easy enough, it's just a pain to get. I'm gonna turn the camera off while I figure this out. I think I have the wrong tools. Alright, so I got it off. Now it's just a matter of taking these bushings and all that stuff off so I can get the wheel off. Alright, so we got the wheel off, and now I'm gonna take it inside and clean it because it is nasty. Okay, so what I did is I sprayed it all down with Simple Green out here, and I'm just gonna scrub it down. And then what you have to do is the inside of this tire here where it beads, you need to make sure that seals. And Austin used to work at a tire shop and he was telling me about this. How a tire works is there's a seal right here that goes all the way around, unless there's a tube in the tire. So what that seal does is keeps all the air in, and you got to make sure that seal actually sticks so that the air stays in the tire. So I'm going to scrub that down really quick and then scrub the inside and try and put air in it. Okay, so what I did is I went through and cleaned the entire wheel, hosed it off. Was a bad idea. You don't want to get water inside the tire, but it is what it is. And now I took a towel and wiped the inside of the rim to help create a seal. And now I'm going to go find some air and put air in it, and hopefully it works.
So you put that in the center of the wheel. See?
Mm-hmm.
What it should do, you see how it's pushing the bead out?
Yeah.
Now,
Alright, so we have a tire. It could be flat tomorrow because it still isn't getting a very good bead, but it's aired up right now, so I'm going to put this back on and then do the same exact thing we just did for 3 other tires. Okay, so what happened is I've got 3 of the 4 tires good to go, except for this last back one. The bolts have been fighting me, but today is Dad's birthday, so we're going to go out to dinner, and I will pick this video back up in the morning. Good morning, everybody. This is the next day. I went to bed last night after dinner and all that stuff, and looks like one of the tires is flat again on the lawnmower, and it's not making a bead. And to fix that, you'd have to take the tire off again, take the tire off the rim, and sand the entire rim down so that it would make a bead. So I'm not going to worry about that until after we get this running. And that brings me to our second issue. We don't know where the key for this mower is. Now, I have a temporary solution. I'm going to have to order a new one. But I've got a remote starter switch that was in my Christmas gift guide video that should work. And if it doesn't, I'm not sure what I'll do. I'm sure Home Depot or Lowe's or somebody has the key that I need to get it going right. but I found a battery, so I'm going to put that in and see if it does anything when I hook up the starter switch. So this is the head of the positive battery cable that just broke off. So I've got to try and find a solution to that before we can even see if it turns on or cranks over. Nice. Perfect, got what we need. So we fixed the battery thing. Dad showed me how to do it properly with the crimping wires, and I found a key that will work. So I'm going to turn it over, see if anything lights up or if it even cranks over. I should probably move this if it starts. Okay, we've got a light. That looks like it's the oil light, so I'm probably gonna have to change the oil at some point. Nothing when I crank it over to start it, which sucks, but it says it's giving me a battery light, so the battery might be junk, even though it's been on the charger all night. Well, crap. I'm gonna hook up the remote starter and see if that'll do anything for it. Okay, so the post here is actually covered up, and to get it off, I'd have to get the flywheel and stuff off, which is just a big pain, so I'm just gonna hold it on here and see if it does anything. Whoa. Alright, I mean, I guess that's something. I get it back up in there. Holy. Nothing. So, let's check if there's spark. Okay. Doesn't look like I'm getting any spark either. I think, though, that it's a battery issue. This battery is kind of a piece of garbage. It's been sitting out here in Austin's bike for a while, and I don't even think it's the right battery. So we might have to run and go get the proper battery later, but yeah, we'll leave the video off here for now until I can figure out what's wrong with the battery. Alright, I figured something out. I figured out you might have to be on the brake as like a safety switch for it to actually turn over and crank and start. So I'm going to try that. Hey! We have it cranking, and I'm going to check for spark while I'm over here. Doesn't look like I'm getting any spark. I may put it back on and try it, but I don't think I am getting any spark. Alright, I'm not getting any spark, so I'm going to go see if we have a spark plug somewhere that I can put in and replace. It's either that, or it could be this plug wire. Where does the plug wire go in? I might check the plug wire while I'm over here, but I know I am not getting spark. Alright, so I am fixing to try something. I could very well get zapped, that's why I turned the camera on. I am getting spark. Never mind. So what I said before about not getting spark, that wasn't true. I am getting spark from the spark plug. So an engine needs three things to run: fuel, compression, and spark. It has spark, so we've got to check if it has compression and fuel. So the next thing I'm going to check if it's getting fuel. So what I'll do is the fuel line is right here. I'll take this off and see if anything comes out of it when I start cranking the motor. But first I gotta put this away. Okay, so I've got the fuel line off here. I'll sit down and crank it, and if fuel comes out, it's going to be nasty because it's been sitting for years. Okay, so no fuel's coming out, so that means there's something wrong with the fuel pump or the line's blocked or something. I'm going to throw some brake clean down the neck of the carb and see if I can get it to fire off. Okay. Alright, try it now. Okay, I'm getting some fuel, but it isn't great. Let's go! Hell yeah! That gas is terrible. Oh, I didn't hear you.
You made it run, but you need to figure out why it's not running right.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So, this is your fuel pump.
I took that off. That's the fuel pump? No wonder I'm not getting gas. I'm an idiot. I thought the fuel comes out of there, so this is where I'd need to test if I was getting fuel, huh? I guess there's a vacuum in here that pulls the fuel out. I also took the clamp off, but I can't get it off. I wanted to make sure the carb was getting fuel. God hated us on the day he made these stupid hose clamp things.
Well, at this point, you need to take the carburetor off, take it apart, and make sure it's not fucked.
Oh, okay.
That was the point that I was at with it, and I said, fuck it, and I threw it back in the barn.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is take the carb off and clean it so that we make sure it's getting fuel. Turns out I made a mistake. The vacuum fuel pump is right here, and I took it off before the fuel pump, so of course it wasn't going to get fuel. So that's something that I learned. Austin had to show me that, and I didn't know that, so that was on me. That was my mistake. But now I'm going to get the carb off and take it apart and clean it and make sure it isn't all screwed up, and then put it back on. There's some old fuel in the tank, so I'm going to try and find some new fuel and drain that so that we're not running bad fuel through the engine. Then Austin said that it's only running on one of the two cylinders, so after we get the carburetor cleaned, we're going to have to figure that out. So I'm going to set up a time lapse of getting the carburetor off. There's no point of me showing you every single bolt. It's just every carburetor is the same. There's all the same bolts, so if you've seen one, you've seen all of them. So I'm just going to get it off really quick. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is take the carburetor apart. So there's two main parts to a carburetor. You've got the bottom part here, this is the bowl, this is where fuel is held. And then up here you've got the venturi. And then on one side, this is the choke. So this controls how much fuel and air, or how much air goes into the engine. So if you're trying to start an engine and it's not wanting to crank, you'll pull the choke and it'll close this, making less air go in, having more fuel go into the engine to help you start it. So that's the choke, and then back here the other flappy thing is the throttle. And I'm not going to go super in depth on everything on here. There's a super good video that I watched the other night on carburetors. I'll link it up here, or here, wherever it is. and you guys can go watch that if you're really interested in learning about how these carburetors work. But now I'm going to take it apart. First, I'm going to take the bowl out and make sure the float and everything's good and there's nothing blocking any of the holes. Okay, what I did is I actually ended up taking the top bit off first. So all of these little passages in here is where fuel runs through. And you want to go through with a flashlight or something to make sure none of those are blocked so that fuel can't get through them. Most of these here look good. Now I'm actually going to take off the bowl. Except these bolts are stripped. Alright, so we got it figured out. We got most of them out. I just got to get this last one out. I cannot see anything. Okay. Alright, now let me get this. There we go. Alright. So this is the bowl. That is not normal. So no wonder it's not really getting fuel. So as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff on the inside here. You do not want that. That's hardened gas and oil and stuff for it just sitting. That needs to be cleaned out. And if that stuff's been trying to run through the engine, that's not good. Alright, so I'm going to take the float out. Okay, so the float's out. So this is the needle on right the end here, and this is the float. So the needle goes down into here somewhere. So I'm not sure entirely what the needle does, but you look on here, through there, that's where fuel is supposed to go up, and it's all blocked up, and nothing's gonna go through there, especially not any clean fuel. So I need to go find something where I can clean it out and just get it nice and clean, so that fuel's actually going to travel through the carburetor, and I bet that's a lot of our problem. Alright, so I cleaned everything up and made it all look nice. Now I'm going to put it all together.
Dislocated, I just keep on wandering along. Got this fully program since then I have been everything you want. Everything complete, everyone we try to master. Close the gate and buckle up, more gasoline is everything we want.
Alright, so I got the rebuilt carburetor put back on, and I'm going to fire up and see if she does anything. Alright. Gotta get some fuel in the bowl. Alright, she fired right, not right up, but she fired up, so I'm going to see if she can do it again. Hey, yo. She also drives, I just need to fix that tire again. That tire has a leak, but then we'll get it outside, hopefully pressure wash it, and drive her around a little bit. I'm really happy that it's running, and I got it to go, and yeah. Fire's right up now. We're good to go. I probably need to put some fresh gas in the tank so we're not running old gas through the motor, but other than that, gotta wait to move this boat over here and get it outside. So that's going to be it for this week's video. Next time I'm going to power wash it and get it all clean. And then in a future episode, I want to make sure it can actually cut grass. From what I remember before it was parked, it couldn't actually cut, like the mowing deck didn't work. So we're going to get that fixed, and yeah, we'll have a running, working lawnmower. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.